Hi, good morning, students. Today we want to look at what we call completing the square. To complete the square, we are going to start with write 3x squared plus 4x plus 2 in the form of a open bracket x plus h squared plus k. Now, remember that h, the formula for h is b over 2a, and formula for k is 4ac minus b squared over 4a. So what we are going to do first of all, we are going to write the equation 3x squared plus 4x plus 2. So what is going to happen? Our a value is going to be 3, our b value is going to be 4, and our c value is going to be 2. Now, so the first thing I'm going to do is this. Okay, before we move ahead, the coefficient of the x squared is 3. That is your a. The coefficient of the x is your b, which is 4. The c, which is a constant, right, or the y-intercept, is a 2. So what we are going to do first is this, we are going to work out what is h. H is b over 2a, right? So I'm going to work out the h. Wherever I have b, I put 4 over 2 times 3, right? So when I work out this, I'm going to get 4 over 6, right? Then I am going to find k. K is equal to 4ac minus b squared all over 4a. So for my k now, I am going to say wherever I put 4, open bracket, my a value is 3, my c value is 2, minus my b is 4. So 4 square all over 4 times my a, which is 3. I would have worked it out. I say 4 times 3 will give me 12. 12 times 2 give me 24. So I put 24 here, minus 4 square, which is 16, all over 12. Now I work out this. So this will give me 24. So you take your calculator, right, and you work it out, right? So I'm going to have 24 minus 16, which give you 8 over 12. Now, so my 8 give me 4 over 6, and my k give me 8 over 12. Now I can simplify these values here. I can simplify this one here, right, if it's possible. 2 goes here 2 times, 2 goes here 3 times. So the 8 is the same thing as well, over 3. I do the same thing for the k. I can simplify it. I use 4. 4 goes here 2 times, 4 goes here 3 times. So it happens that my h value and my k value happens to be the same. Now, when I finish now, so this is step 1. Step 2, I'm going to substitute this value inside the formula, right? So we come here now. Now, so how do I do this one now? So I'll come here, right? Wherever I write the formula a bracket x plus h squared plus k. So my a value, we know that our a is 3, so put a 3 here, open bracket, by the x. Our h is 2 over 3, close the bracket, square, as our k is going to be equals to 2/3 too. And that's my answer for now. Let's recap. The first thing, we are given 3x squared plus 4x plus 2, right? We're supposed to write the formula for a bracket x plus a squared plus k. Now, the formula for h is b over 2a. The formula for k is 4ac minus b squared over 4a. I write the formula 3x squared plus 4x plus 2, right? The coefficient of the x squared is 3. The coefficient of the x here is 4, and this one is 2. I say 8 is equal to b over 2a. So I'm going to get to 4 over 2 times 3, which gives me 4 over 6. When I break it down, I get 2 over 3. And now you're going to find your k value. A is 4ac minus b squared over 4a. So you say 4 times 3 times 2 minus 4 squared over 4 times a, which is your 3. 4 times 3, 12, times 2 give me 24. 4 squared give me 16, divided by 12, we get 8 over 12. 8 over 12, we break it down, we get 2 over 3. Then the next step we do is you substitute in the values of a, h, and k inside the formula. Our a is 3, our h is 2/10, and our k also happens to be 2/10, and that is the answer. Right. So we are going to look at one next example. All right, so let's go. We're looking for one next example. Okay, so let's look at this one here. The next example I have is 5x squared plus 3x minus 2, right? The formula for a bracket x plus a squared plus k. Now, what happens here is first of all, remember, we have to remember the formula, right? That h is equal to b over 2a. It's very important to remember the formula. And k is equal to 4ac minus b squared all over 4a. So that's the first step. We need to remember the formula. If you are going to use the formula method, right, you need to remember the formula. Now, after you remember the formula, you write it down. Then later you go back to the equation. You're going to say 5x squared plus 3x minus 2. My a value is equal to 5. My b value is going to be 3. And my c value this time is going to be negative 2. We are going to work out what is h. H is equal to b over 2a. So what is my b value? 3 over 2 times 5, right? So this will give me 3 over 10. Then I look for my k value. My k value here is going to be 4ac minus b squared over 4a, right? So when we come here now, we are working out this. We're going to get 4 times my a is 5, right? As my c is negative 2, right? Minus b, which is 3 squared, all over 4 times my a, which is 5. Now, I'll work out this one here. 4 times 5 will give me 20. 20 times negative 2 will give me negative 40. So I have negative 40 here. Now, minus 3 squared, which is negative, it would have to give me 9, minus 9, all over 20. So this will give me negative 49 over 20. That's my answer. Right. Then we are going to go ahead, right, and find our final answer. We are going to substitute this value in the equation. which equation? A bracket x plus a squared plus k. So this is what I'm going to do here. I am going to write the formula, right? A bracket x plus h squared plus k. My a value will be 5 plus the x. My h value will be plus 3/10 and put square. And my k value would have been negative 49/20. Now remember, when you reach here, you are a math person, so you just have to ensure that whatever you did, it must incline more. So what I'm going to do here is this: since negative and positive give me negative, I'm going to rewrite as 5 open bracket x plus 3/10 close bracket square minus 49/20. So this is our final answer. This one is going to be our final answer here. All right. So we are going to take on a next example. All right. Next example. So, okay, so we are looking at our third example, right? The third example, we have been given, they say, write 7x squared minus 6x minus 4 in the form, right? Here is in the form of a bracket x plus h bracket square. All right. So the first set I am going to do here, right? My a value is 7. My b value is -6. And my c value is -4. All right. Now, so we go back. We want to find h. H is equal to b over 2a, right? So I work out that my b is -6 over 2 times 7. So this will give me -6 over 14. All right. I want to quantify my k. My value for k is the formula for k is 4ac minus b squared all over 4a, right? So this will give me 4 times my a, which is 7, it's my c, which is -4, minus my b is -6 square all over 4 times a, which is 7. So I'll take my calculator and work out everything here. So when I take it out, I'm going to get 4 times 7 times -4. I get 112. So this will give me -112 minus 36 all over 28. Then we'll work it out. When we work it out now, we are going to get -112 112, negative 112 minus minus 36, right? We get 148, so get negative 148 over 28. All right. So this is where we reach so far. Now, is there any possibility we can cancel it down? If that possibility exists, why not? Let's see. 2 goes here 3 times to get negative 3 here, and 2 goes here 7 times. All right. So the age would be the same as negative 2 over 7. Now I'm going to try this one too. Let me see if anything can go on. So I will use 148 divided by 2. I get 74. So this one gives me negative 74. If I divide by 2, and if I do this by 2, I get what? 14. All right. I can still go a little bit further. Now, I can still use, let me see. Right. So I can still go a little further. 2 goes here will give me negative 37. And 2 goes here will give me 7. So in the nation, my for me to write my answer, right? For me to write my answer, right, I am going to just substitute the value. So let's see what happens here. So I'll come here now. I am going to write, I have a bracket x plus h square plus k, right? So my a value here would have been, a value would have been 7, which is the coefficient of the x square. Put back the x, for h was negative, so it's a plus. I put the plus here, I put negative 3 over 7, then square, plus my k, which is what? Negative 37 over 7. Now remember, negative plus will give me negative. So I'm going to get 7, open bracket, x minus 3 over 7 square, right? Negative plus will give me negative minus what? 37 over 7, right? And this is my final what? Answer. Isn't that beautiful, right? I tell you that maths can be fun. It depends on how you look at it, right? This topic is a very straightforward. What you need to know is know the formula for H and K. You substitute in the values and you just what? Work it out. Now we are going to step it a little bit, right? A little bit further now than this. So let's see what happens, right? A little bit further than this. So our next example now, we step it up, right? So let's go and see what is our next example. All right, so we continue right here, right? The next example, actually this is a CXC question. They say express the function 4x squared minus 8x minus 2 in the form of a bracket x plus a squared plus k, where a, h, and k are constants, right? So in the next question, it asks, determine the minimum value, right? The last one, it says state the value of x for which fx is what? Minimum. So let's see what actually they are referring to right here. So the first question, I'm supposed to write the form of the completing the square, which you know what to do already, right? So first of all, we are going to take the equation. We're going to write 4x squared minus 8x minus 2. We are going to take out the a, b, and c, right? Our a is going to be 4. Our b is going to be negative 8. And our c is going to be negative 2. So we are going to find h first. H is b over 2a, right? So my b value here is negative 8 over 2 times a, which is 4, right? So when I work it out, I'm going to get negative 8 over 8. Negative 8 over 8 will give me negative 1. Then I'm going to find what is the value of k, right? How do I find the value of k? Is 4ac minus b squared all over 4a. So I write 4 as my a. My a is 4. My b will be negative 8 minus, hold on. So a is 4. My a is 4. My c is negative 2. Right, so the c is negative 2. So remember, we have to do that correction. C is got negative 2, right? Minus b, which is negative 8 squared, all divided by 4 times a, which is 4. To work it out here, 4 will give me 16. 16 times negative 2 will give me negative 32 minus 64 all over 16. When I work out this, let's see, negative 32 minus this, that will give me negative 96. We get negative 96 over what? 16. So my answer for this, right? Don't write my answer here, right? I am coming down here to write my answer, somewhere down here. For the complete square, it is supposed to be what? A bracket x plus h square plus k. Should have been, a value is 4, so 4 open bracket x now plus h. My h is, it will be negative 1 square, because remember that this is negative 1, right? So plus negative give me negative, right? Then here k is what? Plus k, but my k is also negative, so it will be minus 96 over 16. So this is my final answer for completing the square, right? So let's watch this. This is the answer, the first part, all right? Now, I need you to pay attention to what is going to happen now. The next question they ask them is to state the minimum value. Now, how do you state the minimum value? Whatever value you get for k, repeat, whatever value you get for k is your minimum value or maximum, right? So in this case, they were asking for the minimum value. So what is going to happen here is this: your minimum value is going to be negative 96 over 16. So you're going to write this answer here is going to be negative 96 over 16. So let me go one more time. If they ask you for say the minimum value, your minimum value is always going to be the value of k. They can ask you for maximum, they can ask you for minimum. How do you know? If the coefficient of the x square is positive, in other words, if the number in front of the x square is positive, they should be asking for minimum value. But if the number in front of the x square is negative, they should be asking for maximum value, right? Now, so the next question is to state the value of x for which fx is minimum. They ask you for value of x. When they ask you for value of x for which fx is minimum, another name for it, they ask you for what you call the axis of symmetry. The axis of symmetry. Now, how do we work out this one now? This is very simple. What you have to do, see whatever you have inside the bracket, you take it out, they equal to 0. So you come here, right? This you are going to say this will give you x minus 1, they equal to 0 without the square. So take whatever inside the bracket without the square equal to 0. So I'm going to get x is equal to 0 plus 1. So x is equal to 1. So the value of x at which fx is minimum is what? Positive 1. Repeat, what you do for this case, you only take whatever you have inside the bracket, they equal to what? 0, and solve for x. Is that clear, guys? Remember, the first thing we are going to do is what? Write in the form of the complete the square using the formula h is b over 2a, a is 4ac minus b squared over 4a. We substitute in the values, we work it to get negative 96 over 16. Now, so when you finish now, you substitute in the values for a, h, and k. Our a is 4, our h is negative 1, and our k is negative 96 over 16. This is the first part of the question. The second part of the question asks for the minimum value. The minimum value now, what you do here is this. You take the value of a, whatever you get half of a is your minimum value. Then when it asks you to state the value of x for which fx is minimum, right? Another way of asking the same question, they're asking for the axis of symmetry. So how do you find the axis of symmetry? It's x minus 1 is equal to 0. What you do, you go inside the answer you got for the complete square, whatever you have inside the bracket without the square, you equal it to 0 and solve for x. We clear? Okay, we are going to look at one last example of the same thing. Later, you can get some work to do now, all right? So let's go. All right, so let's look at this one here. All right, so for this one now, say write the quadratic function negative 3x squared plus 12x minus 4 in the form of a open bracket x plus b squared plus k. Now, do not get panic when they put it in a, b, and k, right? It's the same principle. But what you have to know is that normally we know that this one is your a, right? But then we know that the a will be the x. Then normally here you put here say what h, right? Square plus k. So the only thing they switch was this, instead of the h, they add what? B, right? So you just work with what they gave you. Whatever CX gives you, don't worry, just apply the concept. Is that okay? Just apply the what? Concept, it should be fine. The first question, let's go to the solution part now. So for A, I want to start from the A now. For the A, the first thing I have to do is this, I need to write in the, we'll write the equation first, negative 3x squared plus 12x minus 4. Negative 3x squared plus 12x minus 4, right? So we take out our A value is going to be negative 3. Our B value is going to be 12, and our C value is going to be what? Negative 4, right? Now, so we go ahead and work out now. We are going to find h. H is b over 2a, right? So my h is b over 2a. So my b here is going to be 12 over 2 times a, which is -3. When I work out this, I'm going to get 12 over -6, which will give me -2 as my answer for h. All right. Then we come here now. We are going to find our value for a. Right. We're going to find k now. So for me to find k, a is 4ac minus b squared all over 4a. So I'll come and look for k. I write the 4 times my a. Our a value is -3. Our c value is -4. All right, so we pay attention to the negatives. Minus our b is 12, so it'll be 12 squared. All over 4 times a, so 4 times -3. So when we work it out, 4 will give me 12, negative will give me positive, so it will give me 48 right here, right? Minus 48 minus 12 square. So 12 square give me 144 over -12. So I'm going to work out what is k value. My k value will be 48 minus 144, which give me -96. So I have -96 divided by -12. When I work it out, so 96 divided by 12, I get 8. Right. So how am I going to write my answer here? So I'll come and try and write my answer this time around. So I'm going to squeeze it somewhere over here. No arrow. All right. Right. We don't want an arrow. We want a line. So we come here and draw our line somewhere over here. Right. So what are we going to get now? We're going to just substitute our values inside. So inside the formula, we should have been what? A, we have a bracket what? X plus b square plus k. Now, just a quick reminder, remember that our b here is the same thing as our h, all right? The b is the same thing as the h. So even though we have the b, we use the words, the h to present it, right? So don't confuse our brain. So I'm going to put here, my a value is -3, bracket x. My b, our b is -2, so it will be -2 square, and our k is positive, so +8. This is my answer for the first question. I move on to B. So the B, realize that this time around, they ask you to determine the maximum value. Why they ask you for the maximum value? Because the coefficient of the S square is negative. Remember that if the coefficient of the S square is negative, they will ask you for maximum what value, because your game would have turned upside down, they say, right? This give you a front face. Later I'll come to that. So when I come here, I am going to find the minimum value here, right? My minimum value if equals to, no, sorry, it's a minimum. There should be what? Maximum. So my maximum value, right? My maximum value here is the same thing as the value of A, which is positive 8. Then C, we want me to take the equation of the axis of symmetry. Remember what I told you previously. When you want to find the axis of symmetry, you always go inside open the square formula. Wherever you have the bracket, you equal it to 0 without a square. So for me to answer that question, I come and say x minus 2 is equal to 0, right? So I'm going to say x is equal to 0 plus 2. I get x is equal to what? 2. And that's my final answer. So let's go through one more time quickly. Write the quadratic function negative 3x squared plus 12x minus 4 in the form of a open bracket x plus b squared plus k. I was telling you that don't panic when you see different letters here. What you have to know is to know the general formula, which is a bracket x plus h squared plus k. So in this case, wherever they have the b, that's the same thing as your h, and the k remains and the a remains, right? They say determine the maximum value for the second question. The third question, they say state the equation of the axis of symmetry. So for me, start with, first of all, we write the formula down, right? Then we find what is our coefficient here. So I have negative 3 for B, for A, B is 12, and C is negative 12. So I started by writing the formula for H, which is B over 2A. So I get 12, 2 times negative 3 over 12 over negative 6. I get negative 2. I move on to find what's the value of K. The value of K is 4AC minus B squared over 4A. We start using the values of A, C, and B inside this formula here, right? Wherever we have A, we put negative 3. Wherever we have C, we put 4. Wherever B, we put 12. Wherever we put negative 3. We work it out. We get 48 minus 144 divided by negative 12. So when we work it out here, we get negative 96 over negative 12, which give you positive 8. But we came back here and write the whole complete formula, which is negative 3 bracket x minus 2 squared plus 8. So we want to find, this will give me the square formula, right? The next question asks for the maximum value. How do you get the maximum value, right? You go the value of A, whatever I get for A, in this case would have been your maximum value. So we say the maximum value is 8. Then you want to find the axis of symmetry. We also said that for you to find the axis of symmetry, you take the bracket here, the bracket you have, without a square, they equal to 0 and solve for x, and that is it, right? So I hope this video will help you guys, 12T students, right? Because I'm not going to be here I'm not around this morning here, and I'm hoping that you watch the video and try to help yourself. So watch the video. After the video now, you are going to answer some 5 questions for me, and you post it in a Google Classroom. So I need it by the